Day 5 of Miami Dolphins training camp has wrapped up, and Dolphins fans, today's action gave us plenty to talk about. We've got fresh highlights, injury updates, and quarterback buzz that could shake up the depth chart. So let's get right into it. But before we dive into the latest, do me a quick favor. Subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and don't forget to press that bell icon so you never miss a single Dolphins update. All right, let's jump into the action. Headline of the day: Quinn Ewers turns heads. The standout performer of today's practice? None other than rookie quarterback Quinn Ewers. Yes, the 7th-round pick out of Texas is making serious noise in camp. Now slotted as QB3 behind Tua Tagovailoa and Zach Wilson, Ewers is quietly building a case to move up. While Zach still holds that QB2 spot for now, he hasn't exactly locked it down, and Ewers is clearly coming for it. During today's red zone drills, Ewers was on fire. He connected with Theo Whittington Jr., not Theus Jr. That's the correct spelling on an easy 8-yard touchdown thanks to blown coverage. But don't let that fool you. He followed it up with 2 more sharp TDs. Another to Whittington in the back of the end zone. A dart to Malik Armstrong for a 4-yard score. Sure, red zone periods usually mean more touchdowns, but the consistency and confidence he's showing is what matters most. Steady progress. Day after day. This isn't just a flash in the pan moment either. Ever since Otis and rookie minicamp, beat writers have reported steady growth from Quinn. Yes, he had a bumpy start back in the spring, but now he's stacking strong days and gaining momentum. Even head coach Mike McDaniel acknowledged it today, and reporters on the ground are echoing the same message. He's developing, improving, and showing poise every single day. One reporter named Skipped in the source even said Ewers already looks sharper than Skylar Thompson ever did. That's big. Let's take a deeper dive into why Miami might have quietly pulled off 2 steals this offseason. We've already talked about Quinn Ewers, and here's the deal. This kid has arm talent you can't teach. The way the ball jumps off his hand, the raw velocity, the deep shot accuracy, it's real. The Dolphins may have drafted him in the 7th round, but his ceiling? Way higher than that number suggests. He still needs polish, better footwork, cleaner mechanics, sharper reads. But if he can develop into a high-end backup, or even a legit starter down the road, this could be one of Miami's smartest investments in years. Undrafted but unignorable. Theo Whittington Jr. is making his case. While all eyes were on Andrew Armstrong early in the offseason, it's Theo Whittington Jr. who's turning heads at camp. 2 touchdown grabs from Ewers today, and it wasn't luck. He's running clean routes, creating separation, and proving he belongs. Miami didn't hesitate to give him solid UD for money post-draft, and now it's clear why. Let's be honest. The Dolphins already have their core 4 locked in. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Nick Westbrook-Ikhine, and rookie Malik Washington. But that 5th receiver spot? It's up for grabs. And if Miami decides to keep 6, Whittington has a real shot. The main competition, Dwayne Eskridge, the experienced vet who brings special teams value. But if Theo keeps stacking practices like this, don't be surprised if he forces his way onto that final 53. Training camp gets chippy, and that's a good thing. Now, here's something you don't always hear. A fight broke out at practice today, and that's not necessarily bad. Kenneth Grant and Andrew Meyer got into it after the whistle. No punches thrown, just some heated shoving. And look, that's football. These guys are out here grinding every day in the heat, pushing for roster spots, competing like their careers depend on it. This wasn't a meltdown. It was passion. It was competition. And it's the kind of fire you want to see at this point in camp. Practice standout. Willie Gay Jr. One more name deserves a spotlight. Willie Gay Jr. The newly signed linebacker is already showing why Miami brought him in. Fast, physical, vocal, Gay has been flying around the field, making plays, and looking like a guy ready to earn serious reps in Vic Fangio's defense. He may be on a one-year deal, but if this first week is any indication, he's here to make noise. While Miami brought in multiple linebackers this offseason, including KJ, Britt, and Tyrel Dodson, it's Willie Gay Jr. who's stealing the spotlight at training camp. After 5 practices, Gay isn't just playing well. He's been one of the top 5 defensive performers on the entire roster, according to longtime Dolphins insider Omar Kelly. And when Kelly says a player looks like a starter, that's worth paying attention to. Speed, instincts, and impact. Gay has always been known for his athleticism, that sideline-to-sideline speed, that burst when he closes in on a ball carrier. But now we're seeing it all come together in Miami's defensive system. Even without pads, his explosiveness jumps off the field. During today's 11-on-11 session, he stacked up a full highlight reel. 1 sack blown dead for a clear stop, 1 pass breakup, and nearly came down with a pick after jumping a route. Whether you count that last one as a dropped INT or second PBU, the point is, he was in position to make plays all over the field. Tyrel Dodson's starting spot? Not so fast. The Dolphins signed Tyrel Dodson to a solid 2-year deal this offseason, likely envisioning him as a starter next to Jordan Brooks. But Gay's performance in camp is challenging that plan fast. If pads come on and Gay keeps this level of energy and production, Miami's linebacker depth chart could shift dramatically, and Dodson may have to fight to hold on to a starting role. Tuesday, pads on, pressure up. Day 6 is coming, and it's a big one. Pads go on, the tempo goes up, and real contact begins. That's when coaches start learning who can really play. But even before a single hit, Willie Gay Jr. is making the loudest statement of any linebacker on this roster. As padded practices approach, one thing is certain: the battle in the trenches is about to get real. And Dolphins fans, this is where we find out who's built for Sundays. On the offensive side, the spotlight's on Austin Jackson, rookie Patrick Paul, and veteran Jonah Savaiania. With Aaron Brewer sidelined and James Daniels still uncertain to participate, this group needs to show they can gel fast. Because across from them, that's a different kind of storm. Defensive line brings the heat. The Dolphins' front is loaded. If we get reps from Zach Sealer, Chop Robinson, Jalen Phillips, Bradley Chubb, and Kenneth Grant all in one session, that's war in the trenches. We're about to witness real contact, real blocking, real bursts off the line. Sure, they won't go full collision. No one wants unnecessary injuries. But even without takedowns, this is where chemistry gets built and depth gets tested. Injury watch. Kader Kohou's status a growing concern. Let's shift gears and talk about the injury report. Starting with the most significant name, Kader Kohou. The Dolphins' top corner suffered a lower body injury late last week. Head coach Mike McDaniel labeled him day-to-day and said he's experiencing swelling. Multiple evaluations have already taken place, but McDaniel admitted there's not much of an update yet, and it's unlikely we'll see Kohou back at practice anytime this week. Remember, during training camp, teams are not required to disclose detailed injury info. So whether McDaniel is downplaying it or being fully transparent, we simply don't know. But what is clear, Kader Kohou is Miami's best cornerback by a wide margin. Secondary shuffle. Help arrives, but questions remain, with Kohou sidelined, and Artie Burns and B.J. Adams also dealing with injuries. Adams is in concussion protocol. Miami acted fast. They brought in Jack Jones, Mike Hilton, Cornell Armstrong. That's 3 new corners added in just the past few days. The Dolphins aren't sitting still. They know this position group is fragile. Still, even with these signings, Kohou's absence looms large. He's the glue of the secondary right now. And while fans have discussed names like Rasul Douglas and Alshon Samuel Jr. in speculation, the current starting boundaries may come down to Cam Smith and Storm Duck for the time being. The hope is simple. Kohou returns soon, and no more DBs go down. Because even with added depth, This defense needs its anchor at corner to hold the line once real football begins. With Kader Kohou banged up, Miami didn't waste time addressing the depth at corner, and there's a chance this revamped group might hold its own if Kohou misses extended time. Cornerback rotation, a work in progress. Let's start with the new additions. Jack Jones has flashed starter-level ability in the past. He played significant boundary snaps for both the Raiders and Patriots. He's physical, aggressive, and has a knack for jumping routes. If he settles in quickly, he could become more than just a short-term plug-in. Then there's Mike Hilton, a seasoned vet who's known for his reliability in the slot. If needed, Miami could shift Hilton inside and move Kader Kohou outside. Kohou did spend some time on the boundary late last season when the secondary was depleted, and he held his own. So yes, even without Kohou at full strength, this cornerback room is in a better place than it was just a week ago. But the big picture still hinges on Kader's availability. If his injury lingers deep into the preseason, Miami may need to consider adding one more experienced corner to stabilize the depth chart. O-line update. Positive signs from Aaron Brewer. Now, for some encouraging news up front. Aaron Brewer is trending in the right direction. While he hasn't been active in full team drills, head coach Mike McDaniel confirmed Brewer will take part in walkthroughs this week. A big step forward after missing the first stretch of camp. Let's not understate his value. Brewer was a top 10 center in the league last year. And with all the new pieces on Miami's interior O-line, his presence is crucial. From Robert Jones to James Daniels, from Liam Eichenberg to Jonah Savania, there's turnover everywhere, except at center. Brewer is the anchor, the communicator, the glue that holds this new group together. The Dolphins are hoping his ramp-up stays on schedule, because his health could determine how quickly this offensive line builds chemistry. Let's close things out with a few updates on some key Dolphins players who haven't yet hit the field during training camp. Aaron Brewer, the centerpiece of the line. Miami fans can breathe a bit easier. Aaron Brewer's recovery is trending upward. After an outstanding season last year, Brewer's role in 2024 can't be overstated. He brings leadership, communication, and reliability to a reshuffled offensive line. The team is being cautious with his ramp-up, but signs point toward a return sooner rather than later. Brewer's presence will be a stabilizing force for the interior, especially as new linemen find their rhythm. Ifeatu Melifonwu, positive progress at safety. Free agent signing Ifeatu Melifonwu, who joined the team from Detroit in March, remains on the non-football injury list, but there's optimism about his return. Head coach Mike McDaniel shared that Melifonwu is making positive strides in his recovery, and while no exact timetable has been given, the tone suggests he could rejoin the team on the field within the next couple of weeks if progress continues. When healthy, Melifonwu brings size, versatility, and veteran experience to a safety room that could use added depth, especially with how much rotation Miami's scheme demands. Darren Waller. Ramp-up mode continues. One of the most intriguing names on Miami's roster, tight end Darren Waller, has yet to participate in team drills. The former Pro Bowler has been working heavily with tight ends coach John Embry, focusing on conditioning and individual work. According to McDaniel, Waller is in tremendous shape, but they're being deliberate with his progression to avoid any setbacks. And it makes sense. Waller didn't play last season and briefly retired. Coming off a full year away from football, there's a clear distinction between being in shape and being in football shape, especially when it comes to physical demands like blocking, route timing, and absorbing contact. This process was always going to take time, and the Dolphins are committed to giving him the space to ramp up correctly. Could Miami still look to add another tight end? While Waller continues his ramp up, it wouldn't be shocking if Miami explored adding another experienced tight end. One name that's been loosely connected is Noah Fant, and with the tight end group still taking shape, that's a situation worth monitoring.